وين هذه صاحبي؟ وين صاحبي؟
وين معايا صحفيه تصوير.
تفضل يا خالد.
بشويه عليكم شباب بشويه وين هذا الكلام السمح. We're going to see some mercenaries that have been hiding in the university complex. Okay. I know. And it's about 8 hours drive away from the Egyptian border. It's the second biggest city in Libya, population of around 750 to 900,000 people. You know, for the second biggest city, it doesn't compare to Tripoli at all. Like Tripoli is far more advanced architecturally, food-wise. It's far more, you know, it's a nicer place to live as a city, Tripoli. I was born in Libya. My parents emigrated to England. My father's a doctor. I grew up there. I consider England to be home. I came back here. My parents are still there. My family's still there. I go back as often as I can to see them. Yeah, like a lot of people were telling me, you know, this is not your fight. What are you doing here? When this started, you know, you should go back to England where it's safe. You know, Gaddafi's done, you know, you don't need Gaddafi, you don't need this government, you don't need Libya. You know, you face no evil from this guy. You're comfortable and you're living, you know, you have whatever you want. Why are you so keen and so passionate about this? And, you know, at first I found it almost like condescending. It's like, you know, how dare you ask such a question? How dare you? How can you not understand, you know? And it's because they know no better. You know, if for 42 years you only know one thing, and you know you're being fed this constant stream of this propaganda, obviously you know you'll be brainwashed. And like, guys, you know, this is not life. You know, this is not how it should be. You know, you know, when you're free, you will understand what it actually means. Obviously, when Tunis happened, and then Egypt followed suit, I guess the fear across the Middle East, the fear across the Arab world of these totalitarian, authoritarian regimes, and then people began to believe that they were not as strong as they were, and it was, you know, that they could be overthrown. But obviously, it comes at a very, very high price. At first, it was an internet movement. You know, it's what they call the Facebook revolution. It started on Facebook with people, young Libyans here across the globe, who signed up to these pages and, you know, began to voice their opinions. And then people began to talk on the street. And the 17th of February was chosen as a day of rage. We started 2 days earlier, on the 15th of February. I think it was spontaneous. They weren't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it. I thought it was going to start on the 17th. And then on the 15th, they decided to demonstrate in front of the police headquarters. Yeah, they were pretty much, you know, they were singing الشعب يريد إسقاط النظام, the people want the overthrow of the regime. And then you saw this one banner. We had this one kid had a piece of cardboard, and he'd written Al-Hurriya, which is freedom in Arabic. And he tied it to a lamppost. And yeah, people were clapping for a bit. But there was lots of people that were on the outskirts, kind of watching in the shadows and talking. They weren't really involved. They just wanted to see what was going on. Kind of like gained momentum. More and more people came, but it was still very, very small. You know, I would say 50, 60 people on the 17th, which was the day it was meant to officially start. There were more people out. And then on Thursday and Friday, all the pro-revolutionary committee buildings all over Benghazi were burnt, torched. Police headquarters were burnt. And then, you know, you got the sense that, you know, this is gaining momentum. This is going places. On the 19th and the 20th, that's when all the heavy battles took place. That's where most of the victims fell. That's when the massacre happened. cut the internet, so it was very difficult to get any information out to Western media, to journalists. Journalists weren't allowed in. A couple of individuals, you know, none of us were linked. We had no idea who we were, but each one took it upon themselves to kind of to tell the world what was going on. We filmed on mobile phones, on digital cameras. Well, we're going to the Burqa area where the Katiba is. We're going to that neighborhood because those people, they had the first eye view and they were the first people involved in the takedown of the barracks. Hello? Hello? There's like efficiency and beauty somehow in this chaos, you know? There is no leader. There is nobody that's directing the movement or telling people what to do. It's just, I'm doing this, what are you doing? Oh, I'm doing this, okay, you know, let's do this. And then this guy's doing this, and then it happened across the whole movement, even the protesters themselves when they were out in the streets. And when the barracks fell, for instance, it wasn't a cohesive like attack or anything. We had nothing to attack with, just stones, tires that were burnt to create smoke, to obscure the vision of the snipers, and obviously it confused them. And we didn't know what we were doing, not really. What can you do against anti-aircraft fire and mortars and RPGs? Not much. People were shot at in the morning after the funerals, and you know, once blood was spilled, you know, if your brother dies or your son dies, you know, that's it. You know, who cares? I wouldn't mind dying. I'm gonna be angry. I'm gonna be out there on the streets. I'm gonna try to kill you. That's what happened. You know, the whole population rose. People were angry, and it was about time. 42 years, this guy is squashed, killed, oppressed these helpless people. You know, and we could do nothing. And it was about time that we woke up. This period, yeah, I got to see the real Libyan people. People that had food or owned supermarkets were opening up their stores, obviously to feed all these people that were here, to feed the victims in the hospital, to feed. Stores were closed, so people obviously couldn't get any food. Those that owned bakeries were opening their bakeries, giving bread away for free. We had people that owned printing presses. They were printing flyers out, printing banners, telling people to stick together and not to loot, not to damage private property, not to damage public property, not to damage companies, because you know eventually you would need all of them back. This is your country, you know. It's already in a dire situation. Don't make it any worse. Protect each other, protect yourselves. My granddad, he used to own a grocery store, so he'd leave his store open, he would leave his goods out, and you know he would go to the mosque or he would go home and eat. And he would come back and nobody would touch anything. His store would still be open. Nobody would steal. People were safe. People were kind and generous. And you got to see that. Like today, I definitely see a different side of Libya. It's just about simple freedoms, simple rights. To be able to do this, to sit down, to voice, to talk, to question, to say no, to be able to voice your opinion and just to live a human life.